Please welcome Okta's Chief Product Officer, Customer Identity Cloud, Shivan Ramji.
Hello. Thank you. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? A little louder? Come on, Okta. All right. So this is my first Oktane, and based on the response, I think probably my favorite already. So I might want to come back here. So that opening keynote, by the way, was packed with all things identity. And we have more in store for you in this session. It's almost like identity palooza. So get ready for it. My name is Shivan Ramji, and I'm the Chief Product Officer of Customer Identity at Okta. And I came over to Okta as part of the Auth0 acquisition about 18 months ago. I am really excited to share and unveil that Auth0 is now Okta's Customer Identity Cloud. I want to personally thank all of the team that worked on getting us here, and to the thousands of customers that have trusted Okta with their customer identity journey. And now, as a Chief Product Officer, I'm obsessed about continuing to innovate and deliver more and more value to our customers. And today, I get to showcase all of those innovations with you. Our specific focus areas, as Eugenio had mentioned earlier, is enabling you to solve consumer apps and digital experiences and SaaS applications. So again, to get you oriented, we just announced the Okta's Customer Identity Cloud for consumer and SaaS applications. Now, I think everyone in this room knows the massive impact that the explosion of consumer and SaaS applications have to our daily work and life. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the public sector, whether you're selling pizzas, or frankly, if you're building the next productivity app. For every industry of every size, digital business is really just business. And underpinning the ability to deliver secure, convenient, and delightful digital experiences is your customer's digital identity. So let's begin with consumer applications. The best consumer applications improve our daily lives through improved connection, convenience, protection, or delight. All of us are consumers of the many applications and services that are delivered digitally today. So let's take a look at the role of consumer apps and the role they play in our daily lives.
My favorite app is definitely Kiva. I always knew I had a philanthropic bone in my body. I just like the feeling of doing something for someone else without having to.
Yeah, as for me, it's an app that's literally saved my life on more than one occasion, and that app is AllTrails. We as a family, we love to explore, hike, go backpacking in the wilderness. Unfortunately, I am really bad with directions.
My favorite app is Headspace. Before the pandemic, I had never meditated at all. To be honest, I didn't really believe in it.
Yeah, so I first found out about Kiva from work, and I got to start my donations for these microloans. I remember reading a story about Esmeralda. She wanted funds to buy a cow so that she could have milk, and that's what she was going to sell in her village, and that's how she's going to make her living.
One of the craziest hikes I was able to conquer was this 110-mile hike, Tour de Mont Blanc, across 3 countries. We were only able to do something like Mont Blanc because of having an app like AllTrails.
One of my best friends recommended that I try Headspace. I thought, not for me. But I decided I would give it a week, and sure enough, towards the end of those 7 days, I was noticing I was feeling a lot better.
I couldn't be more thankful to Kiva. It really fills this void, this philanthropic need that I have to give back to badass women around the globe.
I needed that boost. I needed that confidence, which AllTrails gave me, to accomplish all the adventures I have in my list, and to be able to come home safely.
I was able to focus more at work. I was more present in my relationships. Headspace, if you are here in the crowd right now, I want you to know I love you and thank you.
Wow. Now, I think we can all agree that we have some pretty incredible consumer applications in our lives. These are applications that we build meaningful relationships with. And the examples from the video play a critical role in how we connect with nature, how we decompress or we de-stress, or how we support a global community. But it also begs the question, what happens when end users cannot get easy access to these applications? Many of us in this room, all of us in the audience here and folks who are online, work incredibly hard to build applications to improve the lives of our end users. But when users cannot easily access these applications, we all collectively end up failing in our mission. To illustrate this, let's take a look at a few consumer login horror stories.
So my login horror story was with a streaming platform, which I won't name because I'm not a snitch. But when I first signed up for it, it asked me for an email and password. So I went away, I made this amazing, really long, random password, full of special characters, felt really good about myself, put it into the website, and then got told, oh, actually, no, there's a limit. It's too long, and we don't use half of those characters, so start again. All right, fine. So I did it. And then every time I went back, it would ask me again, like, put your email and password in. It never remembered me. And it also had this really basic personalization, like it had no idea who I was. It would just throw things at me, like in the random hope that something might stick. It was a bit like, and this is a very English reference, it's like when you go to the pub, and there's always this one dodgy man who comes up to you, and he opens his coat, and he tries to sell you something that he's found that day, like a T-shirt that's too big for you, or like a bag of stolen sausages, something that he's nicked on the way to the pub, basically. That's what it felt like, being on this website. And then I think the final kick in the teeth was when I tried to watch it through my smart TV using my games console. There was no quick sign-in function, so I had to manually put in the 50-key password using my games controller. And for any gamers in here, you'll have all been through that horrible experience of doing that. It's not built for it at all. And so basically, all these little things were just little fixes, and 5 minutes of thoughtfulness on their part would have saved me hours of frustration, and it was a big reason why I couldn't use that platform anymore.
I recently encountered a login experience that was really terrible. So I bought a house this year, and I went to the city government website to set up my utilities. So 3 or 4 pages into the setup process, and they asked for my social security number. As it turns out, I already had an account with them. I must have set it up 10 plus years ago because it was connected to my undergraduate college email address, and I don't have access to that anymore. So I'm guessing all the passwords that I can remember from the time, they're all wrong. I get locked out, and they prompt me to contact customer service, which is kind of the worst, right? I'm a millennial, and I am kind of allergic to talking to people on the phone. I prefer chat support, just give me chat support. But after about 2 hours later, and after submitting a picture of my driver's license to an online portal, I'm told that I have to wait for a printed code to arrive in the mail. And that's snail mail, y'all. That's crazy. So all of that just to prove my identity. It took about 10 days for that code to arrive, at which point I could finally unlock my account, associate a new email address, and just go along with daily life. I couldn't help but think it would have been so much easier if I was able to get that code via text or prove my identity in some other way, like a biometric factor. Frankly, anything would have been easier than the way that it was done. I wouldn't have had to call somebody on the phone. I wouldn't have been stuck in an unair-conditioned house in the middle of summer, just waiting on the mail.
All right, so many examples there and takeaways. Definitely don't be that guy at the pub. So what you can see from all of these examples the friction that exists. And I bet you can think of many, many more that you encounter in your daily lives. This is why we're so passionate about enabling consumer applications with better customer identity. These experiences are meaningful. These consumer applications matter greatly in our daily lives. But as owners, all of us, of the login experience with these consumer applications, I think that it's time for us to commit to putting an end to the types of login horror stories that you just witnessed. And why is this important? Well, they really contribute to your top line. Digital experiences and the digital economy alone represents 10.2% of the total US economy, and it's growing fast. So, companies that want to thrive and grow really need to get this right. And bottom line, it is 2022. Customers really deserve more. As a reminder, Todd earlier in the opening keynote talked about how customer identity belongs to you. That's all of you here in the audience and that's tuned in online. Whether we're talking about removing friction from the sign-up or login process, preventing account lockouts, or protecting consumers from bot attacks, we can do this today. Yes, all of us can make this experience 100 times better. This is why, according to Okta research, the customer identity market is $30 billion and growing really, really fast. But the digital experiences of today are far from truly delivering on the identity experience that customers deserve. And so today, I'm going to talk to you about how Okta is here to partner with you in taking identity for consumer applications to this promised land. Because customer identity is the central connection point for all of these consumer applications. These apps that are delivering on convenience, protection, delight, none of that will be realized if we don't get the identity part right. But with more than 16,000 customers today using Okta, we'll partner with you to provide easy and secure access for billions of consumers. All right, let's get a few levels deeper and see how we're going to deliver more for you and for your consumers. So let's go back to the example that you saw earlier this morning from our example customer, Media X Media. They have this awesome streaming platform that they recently acquired called Streamward. Streamward is a pretty innovative team, and they love building technology. So they solved this problem essentially by using their own engineering team to build a login experience, but the scale and pace of their growth was just too much for them to handle. This do-it-yourself solution could not keep up with fluctuating customer demand, and frankly, was starting to deliver poor customer experiences. Think of like login errors, clunky flows, all of this leading to user frustration. So now let's take a look at a few years back when Streamward took the journey from doing it themselves with their own engineering team to accelerating their innovation with Okta.
Welcome to Streamward, a global streaming platform. Home to shows like Night Shadow, Baking Without Borders, and Puppy Island. For a while, Streamward was the darling of the industry. But lately, membership growth has flopped. People are frustrated with a poor experience, especially at registration and sign-on. And they're flocking to Streamward's competitors. With millions of users, fluctuating demand, and all sorts of devices, Streamward's DIY identity solution just isn't cutting it. So it's up to their new Chief Digital Officer, Kate, to save the day. Fade in on the Okta Customer Identity Cloud, one of the world's most powerful, customizable identity solutions. Suddenly, Streamward is out of the identity business and back in the customer experience business. Okta simplifies and streamlines customer identity at scale, so teams have time to focus on innovating Streamward's platform and adapting quickly as needs change and audiences grow. With thousands of pre-built integrations, SDKs, and APIs, Okta makes application development way more efficient, helping Streamward deliver blockbuster products to market faster. Customers get the kinds of seamless, personalized experiences that keep them coming back. And because Okta operates behind the scenes, Streamward's brand is the star of the show, and Kate wins Best CDO. With Okta, you don't have to choose between a stellar experience and stronger security. Okta intelligently works to get users fast, secure access to the content they want when they want it, improving your security posture, preventing attacks, and protecting revenue. When it comes to identity solutions, don't buy a B-list stand-in or worry about building something yourself. Trust the simple, adaptable, reliable customer identity cloud without all the drama. Okta Customer Identity Cloud.
Woo. Let's give it up for Kate, the CDO, and her team at Streamward. This is just an example, but we are here to empower all of you to be the superheroes that are featured in that video. Now, you can clearly visualize how the Okta Customer Identity Cloud for consumer applications has made a major impact for media ex media. Now they're not in the identity business and can really focus on delivering a bench testing experience. And we see customer success stories like this every single day. Let me highlight a few for you. Starting with Okta's customer Arduino, they saw their conversions increase by 3 times, threefold, because they simplified the login experience. Or Headspace was able to offload 70 million users in just a matter of months using the Customer Identity Cloud. And you heard about Dick's Sporting Goods earlier. They reduced the customer service complaints that they were getting because they had a better experience for their customers to access their platform. And when you look at Gymshark, they saved almost £1 million annually because they did not have to hire an engineering team to go do this work. Lastly, our customer Motley Fool, who really wanted a seamless and frictionless experience, but not compromise on security, they made this reality through a passwordless login experience. So these examples just show how big of an opportunity customer identity is for digital and digital marketing teams. And yet, most of these teams have a tendency to avoid utilizing the login box. But what if digital teams and marketers started to see the login box for what it really is? It's the ideal opportunity to not only help acquire customers, but to retain and build loyalty. And not just at the first sign up or the first click, but throughout the entire customer journey. When it comes to building brand loyalty these days, it's all about the digital experience, which has to be as frictionless as possible. Now, that's not news to any one of you, though. Every digital marketer has been chasing the elusive goal of delivering this frictionless experience for years now. But this is where we can truly deliver on an enhanced user journey from a customer identity perspective. We can replace the clunky registration box that asks you a dozen questions. No customer wants to give you their phone number, state, and gender on the first sign-up. They are just getting to know you. We can eliminate 3 different pop-ups that show up within a minute, asking you if you'd be interested in a 10% discount in exchange for your email or phone number. And frankly, we can stop asking customers to create an account just before they're about to make a purchase and just want to be done with the purchase. In fact, frustrated consumers can simply click the close button on pop-ups in a split second, enter false data so they can get rid of the friction, or frankly, just abandon the whole process. And according to the Baymard Institute, about 24% of customers abandoned their cart at checkout when they were required to create an account. So what can we do? Don't worry. We have solutions to help you. Next, we have some exciting demos to walk you through today. As you saw earlier from the Streamward video, they were solving for customer acquisition and retention. So let's take a closer look into exactly how the team at Streamward went from do-it-yourself customer identity to really finding success with Okta's Customer Identity Cloud. Here to demo the details for us today is Priya, who is playing the part of Head of Digital Customer Experience. And she'll be joined by Cassio, who is playing the part of the Identity Admin. Over to you, Priya and Cassio.
Thank you, Shiv. Hi, I'm Priya, VP of Digital Customer Experience at Streamward. And today I need to talk to Cassio, our Identity Admin. Hey, Cassio, our growth has stalled, and our member cancellations are going up through the roof. It seems like our customers are having a lot of issues with passwords. I'm looking at our reviews, and these are really, really bad. Our customers are complaining that they are not able to reset their passwords. They in turn are calling up our customer support teams, and this is increasing our customer support costs. We really need to fix this issue, Cassio. What can we do about it?
Hi, Priya. The first thing we should do in order to help with these issues is look at identity data from the platform. Let's understand what's happening to customers. So I have those metrics here in front of me directly from the Okta Customer Identity Cloud. So the first thing we do is what's happening to login transactions on the Smart TV application. So if I compare that with what we see on the mobile app, so if I'm just going to select the Streamward TV app in here, if I apply, look, what we see is a pretty low conversion rate. So there's friction here. Users are not able to sign in from directly from the Smart TV. But let's double click and understand potentially what's causing this. So what we learn is that password reset requests are also failing consistently. So not only users are not able to log in from the Smart TV app, but they're also failing to reset those passwords when that operation fails. So this probably explains why you're seeing such level of complaints and cancellations that I just mentioned.
Yeah, this is exactly in line with what we are seeing. You know, there's password resets across our different channels are not the same. So how do we fix this?
Yeah, there are many different things that Okta can do here to help. But the very first thing we should do in a situation like this is to configure something called device flow. With device flows, users will be sent to their mobile device where it's much easier to type and enter their passwords.
Wow, that's a great first step. Do we have other options?
Yeah, the other thing we should do too is configure different ways for users to log in. So of course, we will allow them to use their email as usual, but let's add more options too. Let's allow them to use their mobile phone number and passkeys. You know, Priya, I love to nerd out about all things identity, right? You should go and read about passkeys. You're going to love it. But with passkeys, users are going to be able to log in using biometrics, 100% passwordless, no passwords involved, on their device of choice using the most secure and convenient mechanisms that those systems allow. So we allow that to be configured, but because we can't really guarantee that users will always have biometric devices in front of them, we allow them to use email as a fallback option. So I'm just going to quickly save this. I'll make this option default because passkeys is just so much more convenient and secure, and boom, we are ready to go.
Wow, so first of all, I love passkeys, so that's great. So tell me, how will this affect sort of long-term customer retention for us?
Yeah, so let's see what happens now to users when they go back to the Smart TV. So when they try to sign in, they'll be prompted with a QR code. So then all they will have to do is scan that code. And when I do this, what Okta does is Okta detects that my device is passkey capable. And then what happens is you ask me to enroll for that. And the beauty of Passkeys is that I enroll once, and it works across all my sync devices. So because this is the first time, I'm going to continue with Passkey. I'm going to accept, assign my email, start on my phone, big smile, handsome guy, and here we go. Let's start binging now.
Wow, this is fantastic, Cassio. Our customers are absolutely going to love this.
That's right. As I always say, live, log in, and prosper. With that, back to you, Shiv.
All right, give it up to the demo team of Priya and Cassio. That was a fantastic demo. I mean, isn't it great to see all the ways that Okta can drive innovation for digital teams? I hope all the digital and marketing team members in the audience or online walk away today with the goal of taking advantage of what the login box and customer identity can actually do for you. It's not just an annoyance for your users to get past or a security checklist, but the login box is a powerful tool that can do a whole lot more for you and your users today than it's probably doing right now. And just a reminder on timing, Passkeys support capabilities are going to be available globally to all of our customers at the end of Q2 2023. Now, before we close this section on consumer applications, it would be amiss if we did not talk about how we're protecting and keeping your users safe and secure. And we've talked a lot today about removing friction. But oftentimes, when you remove friction, you probably open yourself up to a little more risk. But we cannot afford to make these kinds of trade-offs. Customer identity must uphold the highest levels of convenience, security, and privacy for all users. But finding the balance between these forces, frankly, is quite challenging, and especially in highly regulated industries like finance, healthcare, and utilities. Earlier, in Jordan's example of her login horror story, a large part of the friction she experienced is due to the complex regulations that some of these industries face. Now, banks are a great example. They've had to get very, very creative in delivering their services in a world where people want more convenience. They also want security, but do not want to compromise on friction. On top of that, regulatory frameworks such as open banking are being adopted around the globe. And with the consumer's consent, organizations have to figure out how to securely share financial data with other companies, which really requires financial-grade APIs. And that's where I want to take you now. We're going to show you how Okta can help you meet these complex standards and shorten much of the long development cycles that your teams have to go through. And we will enable you so you can focus on innovation that matters to you and on innovation that matters to serving your customers better. To highlight this example, we're going to focus on RoyalTZ, the latest and greatest subsidiary from Media X Media. Please welcome to the stage Ian and Jax, who are playing the parts of the RoyalTZ team members so they can show you the great work that they are doing. Over to you, Ian and Jax.
Thanks, Shiv. Hey there. Here at RoyalTZ, we provide digital content by connecting backers with artists and pay royalties when users purchase their content. The only issue? We haven't launched the platform yet, and Media X Media has given us until the end of the quarter to launch.
I don't know, that's not a lot of time. We still have to figure out a way to allow our backers and artists to link their bank accounts. They really need to be able to transfer funds in and out of RoyalTZ's platform. And on top of that, we need to make sure we can keep fraud under control.
Believe it or not, Okta's Customer Identity Cloud can do all that. Let's take a look. Yeah, see here? They have all the pieces necessary to do third-party account linking and strong customer authentication using financial APIs.
So are you saying if a user makes a transaction, we can send them a push notification requesting for approval before the transaction's complete?
Exactly. But not only that, we could even force a higher level of assurance. Let's say a user doesn't log in with multi-factor authentication. We can send them an email one-time passcode before they consent to the transaction. So now that we have a way to prevent fraud, we need to figure out how to link users to their bank accounts.
Okay, so it looks like Okta has templates using those same financial APIs. And honestly, I am so happy we're using IETF open standards rather than having to do something custom.
So it looks like we're going to use some no-code templates, and
It's done.
too easy. This is going to save us months of development time. Let's log into the Royalty app and see what the user experience looks like. All right, I'm going to link my bank account. See my bank information, everything we need the user to consent to, deposit, withdrawal, transfer funds. Looks right to me.
All right, now let's try purchasing some digital rights in Royalty Z using the money from your wallet. You should be receiving a push notification asking you to approve the transaction.
Yeah, it just came through. This is really slick. I can see the transaction, how much the transaction's for. This is really going to improve user confidence in Royalty Z.
This is awesome. I think we're ready to ship this.
Too easy. Thank you, Okta.
Back to you, Shiv.
Thank you to Ian and Jax. It's amazing all these demos are holding up. Love it. All right. All right, I'm really happy to see how Okta is helping our customers in these highly regulated industries. And at Okta, we take on this difficult and complex burden of solving identity so that you can focus on the innovation that really matters to your teams. Now, everything we just showcased in this demo for financial-grade identity for highly regulated industries will be available starting the end of Q2 of 2023. Yeah, you can clap. Thank you. Now, to talk to us on a deeper level about what it takes to build an amazing consumer application in the financial services vertical, we have an exciting guest to bring to the stage. Kiva is a US nonprofit fueled by passionate people with a vision for a financially inclusive world where all people hold the power to improve their lives. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the head of engineering at Kiva, Matthew Flaming. All right, welcome, Matthew.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Although you did say it was going to be a fireside chat. This is a heck of a fireside.
We didn't tell you we were going to have 4,000 people here. So tell us, I'm really inspired by Kiva's mission, but tell us a little bit about Kiva's mission and how those values power your work.
Yeah, thanks. So Kiva is a global nonprofit founded in 2005 with a mission to expand financial access and create a more inclusion for disadvantaged communities. So with our microfinance platform, we provide 0% interest loans in the United States, and we also operate in 70 other countries around the world. The people who are taking our loans out are folks like smallholder farmers who are trying to adopt sustainable agriculture. They are households looking to purchase clean cook stoves or solar panels. They're communities that want to build wells for clean water. And they're women and refugees who are trying to start small businesses. So since we started using our platform, more than 2 million people have contributed $1.8 billion to about 5 million individuals around the world to increase their opportunity.
Impressive.
So in our work, we're really working with two primary groups, our borrowers and our lenders, a lot of whom start by contributing as little as $25. And in all of this, I'd say, to your question, our values are really grounded in building these human connections that support the mutual dignity of borrowers and lenders alike and creating a more equal playing field for opportunity.
Nice. So you talked a little bit about how these values translate to you know, how you support the company's mission. Tell us a little bit about sort of, you know, how does customer identity sort of fit in this whole mix of helping lenders and borrowers?
Absolutely. So we're not just moving words and pictures around. We're moving actual dollars around.
Yeah.
So a secure identity system is just absolutely the backbone of our business, our mission, and the connection between borrowers and lenders. The login screen is something you don't really notice until something goes wrong, and then it's like that record scratch sound, and suddenly nothing works.
Yeah.
If people can't log into our system, it means borrowers might not be able to submit their application or get funded. It may mean that a lender can't connect with a project they're passionate about. So people's real livelihoods and real dreams are at stake. So it's really imperative for us to have a reliable, accessible, secure identity system.
Excellent. Yeah, you mentioned it's really critical because there's a lot of transactions, and especially it's going to people that you're trying to help from a financial inclusivity perspective. So we get the consumer experience and how critical that is, but you have sort of another use case to this too. So tell us sort of beyond consumers, how are you using the customer identity cloud to power your applications?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have two core lender-facing products. There's our consumer marketplace, and then there's our managed lending product that we use to partner with organizations like Atlassian, who are running employee engagement campaigns. And on that side, it's really essential for us to provide this seamless experience of single sign-on for those workforces. And I would say the Identity Cloud has been absolutely central to allowing us to build these experiences in a way that don't create barriers to entry, don't create extra work for people who want to engage with Kiva.
Yeah, awesome. So what does the future look like for customer identity at Kiva?
You used the word frictionless a couple of times. I think that's really a core goal for us. We are always trying to build experiences that are about community and not about technical obstacles. So in doing that, on the one hand, we're really looking at exploring integration into wider variety of single sign-on and back-office systems so that we can partner and expand our footprint working with organizations like Atlassian. And on the other hand, we really want to try and meet people where they're at on the borrower side. We don't want to exacerbate the digital divide. We want to bring people in. So providing more login options really helps us do that. We're looking, for example, at can we integrate with things like M-Pesa, a digital currency system used throughout the Global South. And again, the toolkit provided by Okta is just so core in helping us explore and expand those options.
Awesome. Glad to hear that we're helping you expand your reach. It's really inspiring to see the impact Kiva has around the world. Now, for folks who are here with us in the audience, how can the audience get involved and support the inspiring work you're doing at Kiva?
Absolutely. Well, the first answer has got to be follow us on social media. But beyond that, I'd encourage everyone here to visit us on kiva.org. Read the stories of people who have big dreams and are planning to power them with Kiva. I bet you'll find something that inspires you.
Excellent. Well, it's a real honor to have you, Matthew, as a customer and as a partner, and really inspiring mission that you guys are on. So thank you so much for your partnership.
Oh, thank you.
All right. That was a great conversation because you got to see both sides of the use cases we were talking about. I think you heard about the consumer experience, really important to them, but you also got a glimpse of how they use our platform to solve for business customers and their needs. So that's where we want to go to next. We're going to switch gears a little bit and now focus on SaaS applications. Now, the software as a service market is absolutely booming with new products coming online almost every day. And all of us, all companies are using more and more SaaS applications to power their business year over year. Now, as you can imagine, there's a lot of competition in the SaaS space, and companies that are able to successfully onboard customers quickly and move up market are the ones that are poised to win. Historically, there have been very limited options on the market to go solve the SaaS application use case. A lot of the times, product and engineering teams sort of use a combination of both consumer and workforce identity solutions. But a lot of the times, they're just building it themselves and are spending a lot of engineering power to solve for this use case. Now, what our SaaS apps product enables is for every application builder, and you heard this earlier from Todd, to essentially go upmarket and reach enterprise-level identity capabilities fast and really, really easily so that you can, again, focus on the core business and the innovations that matter to you. So if you're a builder accounting for single sign-on and passwordless access today, you'll be able to count on Okta to deliver the next set of identity capabilities into the future. Letting us at Okta focus on customer identity and its complexity enabled the customer, like Trip Actions, who you heard from earlier this morning, allowed them to really focus on innovation in the travel industry. So to take a look a little bit deeper in this space, we are going over to the team at My Learning Media, another recent acquisition for Media X Media. I think this company was traded publicly. That would be really successful because they're killing it. They are going through a massive change in their business model from traditional in-person training to now delivering learning online via their new SaaS platform. We're going to showcase how we manage and model identity for business customers, similar to what Matthew shared earlier. With the Okta Customer Identity Cloud for SaaS applications, you can configure organization-specific end-user access to SaaS applications, including branding and federation. This is in support for the SaaS company's fast growth because they are probably adding hundreds or even thousands of customers every month. And the organizations feature allows you to be enterprise-ready and essentially support that type of growth. So to do that, let me introduce you to My Learning Media, another example company and acquisition by Media X Media. And joining us on stage is their CTO, Mallory, along with the CPO, Cassio. Over to you, Cassio and Mallory.
Hello, everyone. Here at My Learning Media, we are in the middle of a transformation from in-person training to delivering e-learning experiences. We are poised to capture the e-learning market, and we can't afford to slow down our engineers who are focused on shipping our core product. So Mallory, my best CTO ever, help me out here.
Sure thing. So at my last gig, we used the Okta Customer Identity Cloud to get our product off the ground. We can use the organizations feature here to completely customize, to represent our business customers and completely customize the experience they have when they're accessing our app.
Okay, that was great, but while we're clicking away over there, I got the email from our Chief Revenue Officer, and guess what? We just landed our first big enterprise customer, Cups, the world's second largest coffee chain. They signed a 5-year deal with us to use our app to deliver professional development to their baristas everywhere in the globe. But there's some really strict security requirements here, like on the agreement. At the very top of the contract, there's one that's mandating that all of the employees must log in with single sign-on with Okta Workforce Identity Cloud.
Sure, so that's no problem. We've got a super simple way to set up SSO into our app using the new Okta Workforce connection, which is what you're seeing here. We can even plug the Okta Customer Identity Cloud SDKs directly into our app's admin dashboard. So Cup's admins are going to be able to enable this all on their own without ever needing to coordinate with our team.
All right, this is going to save both of us and our customers a lot of time and money.
Exactly. So check it out. Now, when Cup's employees access their Okta end-user dashboard, they're going to see our app. And then with one click, they'll be learning on our platform.
Okay, that's awesome, right? So it looks like we are covered for Cups, but what about our other customers? We are hyper-growth here, Mallory.
Yeah, I get it. So I'm going to need you to chill out, Cassio. That's the first thing. Second of all, these capabilities are going to work for all of My Learning Media's customers, not just those that use Okta with their employees. And if users happen to navigate directly to our website, they're going to be presented with an out-of-the-box login flow. and it's specifically designed to minimize the amount of time that it takes them to log in. So no matter who they work for, they're going to be able to access their training content instantly. And as for your hypergrowth, we're covered there too. Okta can support millions of business customers across public and private deployments.
Oh, well, I'm starting to love this. So now that we got the platform set up, the genius here has to start thinking about how we'll set up authorization within our app. With all these new customers, our content library is growing very quickly. We need to make sure that all this data is secured and auditable. We've got a wide range of authorization needs, from multi-tenant role-based access control to fine-grained authorization. So Mallory, just spill it. How many engineers are we going to need to support this thing?
Cassio, so the team is really strapped right now. We really don't have time to build something like this. And even if we did, we really probably shouldn't. Okta has a new solution called FGA, the FGA, of course, standing for fine-grained authorization. So FGA gives our teams a really easy way to design authorization models that define how different entities within our application are related. So as users start interacting with our application, say by creating or sharing content, we can just synchronize those relationships right back to FGA with simple APIs. We can also make authorization checks across billions of objects in milliseconds. So we can be sure our app is both snappy and secure.
Wow, like milliseconds, billions. Seem to know your stuff, eh? But let's just start with the basics, right? Can we ensure that employees from different organizations can only access their own content?
Sure. So we can set this up as a simple model. Organizations have members, and then content belongs to specific organizations. Now, we just need to make a quick API call to check if a user can access any given content. So see, now HardoCup's employees are only going to see their own training content after they log in, much like this manager here.
All right, but that one was a layup. What about role-based access control? With big companies using our product, they'll need more control over which one that employees can access what. But let's start with a few basic roles. So then only certain users can do sensitive actions like assigning content or billing. Can you just hack that one together for me?
So luckily, I'm not going to have to hack it together, as you say. FGA can do that too. So with just a few tweaks to our authorization model, we can implement role-based access control with content manager and billing manager roles.
All right, well, now we're talking. But let's not stop there. We are running a beta of a new feature that allows a customer to create and assign custom content. Would the platform support that too?
Absolutely. So now we're talking about fine-grained access control. Let's go ahead and take it for a spin. Again, as you can see, with just a few additions to our authorization model, we can implement fine-grained access control. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this would have taken our team months to build if we tried to do this on our own.
Oh, amazing. My Learning Media is good to go. Media X Media has aggressive growth targets with plans to acquire and launch even more products. This will give all our development teams a consistent and repeatable authorization solution and provide a single auditable interface for our security team. And since Okta just saved us months of time, how about a large pumpkin spicy latte? I know a good place.
I think I'll just go for an espresso, but in the meantime, back to you, Shiv.
Give it up to the demo team. Cassio showed up in a few demos with different personas. He must be like the 10x identity guy. But you can't hire him. He's not available. All right. I love how the team actually sneaked in a demo of authorization for SaaS applications too. This is a visionary look at where we can go with fine-grained authorization. And as of today, we have recently released an open source project, OpenFGA, that has now been accepted in the sandbox by the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. We are really excited to support this project and invite contributors, both from our customers and the developer community, to join us so we can tackle this problem of authorization at scale together. And I can't wait to see the impact we can have together in progressing solutions to this really complex and gnarly problem. Okay, everyone, we're now in the home stretch here. I have one more thing. To round out this talk, I want to turn a little bit to the future. And some of the concepts I'm about to share now may kind of seem a little bit out there, but we are getting to these types of innovations very, very quickly. What I'm about to cover now is not on our immediate roadmap, but it is something that we're experimenting with and opening up for feedback from our customers here and also from the developer community. So let's talk about digital wallets and the role that verifiable credentials will play in the coming years. Now, there is still some existing identity data that hasn't fully moved digitally, right? And that data typically is stored in some physical format today. So think of passports, birth certificates, tickets, and other passes. And other identity data is locked up in silos still. So think of digital education transcripts, insurance cards, so on and so forth. Users would benefit from having digital versions of this data that they could share on demand with vendors and institutions. Now, most of this data remains in a physical format for a very good reason, because it's incredibly valuable and needs to be protected from theft, fraud, or duplication. There really needs to be a way to establish provenance, authenticity, ownership, and authorship. Verifiable credentials solve these issues digitally by creating sharing standards and then cryptographically protecting the claims in them. At Okta, we have a vision that verifiable credentials will play a critical role in streamlining the way we all live and act online, as well as protecting organizations and consumers from fraud. Okta believes in allowing applications to be independent and neutral of proprietary ecosystems while leveraging the latest advancements in identity, including evolving standards from the bodies like W3C and IETF. Now, to give you a glimpse of how this technology could work for companies like My Learning Media in the future, I would like to welcome Randy, who is going to be playing the part of Director of Product, and Nabil, who will be playing the Customer Experience Developer. Over to you, Randy and Nabil.
Thank you, Shiv. Good afternoon, everyone. Earlier, Cassio talked about our huge customer win with Hardicups. Hardicups is not only focused on delivering great coffee, they're also deeply committed to their employees. Hardicups wanted a learning platform that facilitates advancement within Hardicups, but also provides their employees with credentials they can use throughout their career. Okta's commitment to innovation and advancing the state-of-the-art with verifiable credentials makes this possible. Hey, Nabil, can you tell everyone about verifiable credentials?
For sure. So, as you can imagine, verifying traditional credentials is super time-consuming and not really secure. People have to scan or take pictures of their documents if they can even find them in the first place. Plus, simple PDFs, easily fabricated. Verifiable credentials makes this whole process simple, accurate, and immediate. So when Hardicups employees complete their online courses, My Learning Media, issues them a verifiable credential, the employees are then in possession of those credentials and can present them to any requester for verification.
Awesome. So let's put that into context with a Hardicups employee. Amina is a store manager and wants to apply for a district manager position. Hardicups requires their district managers to have both business management and financial accounting skills. Amina is thrilled to learn that My Learning Media offers a professional certificate in business management and enrolls in the program. So let's see how this works. After completing the course, My Learning Media issues Amina's certificate as a verifiable credential, which she is then able to store in her digital wallet. You might be familiar with this experience, as it's similar to vaccination records or airline boarding passes. Certificate in hand, she's now eligible for that promotion to district manager. But better yet, she's able to present it to anyone who requires proof of course completion, such as continuing education programs, posting to her online profile, or even applying for other opportunities. Now, Nabil, can you show us how Okta helped us bring this all together?
Sure thing. So using Okta Customer Identity Cloud, I was able to configure the My Learning Media application to be a credential issuer. So first step is to create a credential template. So to do that, we simply fill in some information about the template describing its purpose. Next, I want to brand it accordingly so that recipients know where the certificate is from. And then I just save my changes.
That looks simple enough. One thing I love about Okta is they're always thinking about the developer experience. Nabil just created a custom template specifically for My Learning Media, but Okta makes it even easier to get started. With Okta's Verifiable Credentials website, which just launched last week, developers can learn about issuing and verifying credentials and leverage best practice examples. Issuers and verifiers can get up to speed quickly, saving valuable time and resources so that developers can focus on building better products and services.
Now you tell me, I just wasted 30 seconds creating that template. Anyhow, template in hand, next step is to enable Okta to be able to issue it. So to do that, we're going to configure an action sequence right here, enable a couple of settings, and voila, we're done. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more thing. If in the future we need to be verifiers of credentials issued by somebody else, Okta makes that really simple as well. But we'll save that demo for another time.
Awesome. So using Okta, My Learning Media is now able to issue verifiable credentials directly to HardCup's employees, empowering them with their own personal certifications that can be instantly verified. My Learning Media will also be able to verify credentials issued by other organizations, allowing us to right-level training recommendations for all of our customers. This is going to really set My Learning Media apart in the market and help us grow. Thank you, Okta. Back to you, Shiv.
All right, that was awesome, Nabil and Randy. Thank you for that. So we've opened up experimentation with verifiable credentials to everyone. You can access your playground today by visiting manage.auth0lab.com. And you can also go to verifiablecredentials.dev to learn more about some of the concepts that we shared here. Now, we've showcased a lot today for our new Customer Identity Cloud. There is so much to take advantage of today, and we have so much more on the horizon. So as you walk away from this session today, I think it's important to think about what you need in your partner to support your customer identity needs. So first, you need a partner that's built for change. And frankly, this matters for consumer applications, but also for SaaS applications. Companies cannot predict where the business need will be tomorrow. And so we provide customizable, comprehensive, and extensible technology that adapts as your consumer's behavior changes. And a large part of being built for change is providing the highest levels of scale and reliability as your organization grows. And we provide an enterprise-ready solution out of the box as your company continues to grow. You need a partner who's trusted, a partner that provides reliability and always-on support so you can focus on your customers, whether they're consumers or business customers for a SaaS world. And then finally, you need a partner who's thinking about ease of use across the entire spectrum. If you're a consumer application, this means building for everybody that's responsible for that team, developers, digital teams. On the SaaS side, it's for the product and engineering teams, but also for your customers' administrators. And for both use cases, a big part of being easy to use is our modularity. We provide simple, pre-configured end-to-end experiences that allow you to get started very, very easily and quickly. But you can easily customize the experience to deliver the customer experience that you desire. And for your customer identity cloud as a whole, you need a partner that is independent and neutral, that thinks and innovates with a singular focus on your identity needs, and that easily integrates to the broad ecosystem of technology directly into your applications. This truly frees you to build your stack, your way, so that identity can truly belong to you. This is why you need the Okta Customer Identity Cloud. Please make sure to learn more in our developer keynote later today, and come visit us in the Developer Hub in the Expo Hall. And to close out, I want to encourage you to think about the role you will personally play in changing the future of identity. Thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to connecting with you the rest of the week. Thank you.
If you ask me my dream for identity, I'm going to give a slightly selfish answer, but I think that's okay.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is that my identity belongs to me. So far, what we have had is putting the organization or the company that's trying to sell me something first.
Every consumer expects that we have easy access to all the personal data we're putting online. But we also expect the highest standards of security because it's my data. So I'm trusting companies with my photographs of my family, my children, my healthcare records, my finances.
And I think the paradigm actually needs to shift, where it needs to start with me as an individual or me as a consumer first, who wants that frictionless and super secure interaction and not ask me unnecessary questions. Don't ask me to opt out, rather, I will opt in as and when I need.
We've always considered there being this strong trade-off between security and privacy on one side and then convenience on the other side. The more secure we make something, then it has to be cumbersome. It's just not true, and it's not true with the technology we have today. So to make this a reality, bringing systems in like biometrics, where my fingerprint or my voice is the identifier, it's more convenient and it's more secure. That's what we should be doing for the future of identity.
Having that sort of experience would not just sort of reduce the friction for me, it would save me a lot of time. If it's my responsibility to sort of combat every single website and every single bad player out there, the onus is just too high for me. It just needs to become easier.